Hello, my name is David. I work for the Great Team here as the program director, and we have amazing news that will be coming in the next 2 to 3 weeks. But what we want to talk about today is traumatic brain injury and how it influences suicide. So today I have the honor of speaking with Dr. Chad Forbes. He is the neuroscientist and researcher at Florida Atlantic University, and he'll be talking about traumatic brain injury, how it affects the brain, how it affects the mind, and how it leads to suicide, and as well as the projects we'll be unleashing in the next couple of weeks. Thanks for being with me.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me about your background. What led you into going through so many years of school just to become a neuroscientist?
Yeah, it was a lot. Well, I've always had an inherent fascination with the brain and the body and what goes on in here that ultimately influences how the brain works and what the brain and how the brain influences all of this, and ultimately how it all works together to make people do the things they do and behave the way that they behave.
Excellent. And it's a great field to be in. We need to learn more about the brain. It's very complex, and we have years of study. People have been trying to determine what the brain does in the body since ancient time. But when it comes to military veterans, because that's what we do, why do you think traumatic brain injury leads to suicide or suicide ideation?
Yeah, I mean, there's a link there for some pretty clear reasons. So when people experience these concussive blasts that basically jiggles the brain around, and it ultimately causes inflammation, which is a key component in influencing then how the different parts of the brain talk to each other. And so one of the most important aspects of that then is how these different parts of your brain that ultimately play a really important role in why you choose to do the things that you do, and when when something gets you angry and you're able to kind of calm down, you need all these different parts of your brain kind of working together ideally, right? And so what happens with TBI is it disrupts that through this inflammatory process. It influences how these brain regions talk to each other. And then as a result, sometimes people aren't as good at then like regulating those emotions, regulating those thoughts and feelings that might then have the link to those kind of suicidal thoughts.
And that's what our founder, Kerry, has touched on since he founded our organization back in 2016, that suicide is not something that just randomly came up. There's something wrong physically, mentally, and emotionally with the veteran that served, and sometimes because of the inflammation in the brain. And most individuals, even doctors at renowned institutions, don't really recognize that that's what needs to be treated first. So we emphasize on hyperbaric oxygen therapy. We also emphasize on photobiomodulation therapy, which is using infrared light to decrease inflammation in the brain, as well as using nutraceuticals. So tell me, and actually let the audience know what's happening. We are planning to do a joint research study to determine the effects of photobiomodulation or low-level laser therapy for those who are a little bit older, on how it influences the brain, helps reduce the inflammation, improve neurocognition, and maybe regrow some brain tissue.
Yeah. So with thanks to your help and collaborating with us, we are ready to start a project that's going to look at the longer term effects of this photobiomodulation treatment on inflammation in the brain, and how that might link up to how different parts of the brain that are important for those things we were talking about earlier, how they talk to each other, but also how your genes respond, certain genes that are important for that inflammation process, how they respond to the treatment as well. So the idea behind these helmets are that ultimately they help reduce inflammation in the brain, which again is one of the primary culprits in a lot of these things that you're interested in, is your organization is interested in. So we're hoping through this kind of this longitudinal study, we can track individuals who are interested in participating over time to see if there's a link between reducing this inflammation in the brain from this photobiomodulation treatment and subsequent feeling better about yourself, having increased well-being, and these different parts of your brain talking better.
So for the veterans who are watching this video today, to simplify for even further, we're going to try and show to all the institutions, including the VA, that photobiomodulation therapy, which is a 60-plus-year-old science, works. It's non-invasive, doesn't require any pharmaceutical intervention, and it's something that can be integrated across the United States and prove that pharmaceuticals are not the only way for you to treat the brain or surgery. There's something that you can use on a day-to-day basis. So we'll be using the Weber medical helmets provided by Dr. Weber in Germany to test this evidence, as well as using the WALVI EEG. Tell us, what does an EEG do so the audience can understand?
Yeah, so the EEG basically is these 20 plus electrodes, the little kind of electrical receivers that we place right on the scalp. And what it picks up on is the product of millions and millions of brain cells or neurons synchronizing with one another, kind of oscillating at the same point in time, increasing that lead to these really tiny increases in voltage fluctuations that we can actually pick up on with these electrodes at the scalp.
So we're going to prove medically, scientifically, that's already been approved by the Independent Review Board, IRB, through Florida Atlantic University, which is a nationally recognized university here locally in Boca Raton. We're also going to be doing other case studies moving forward, but this is our flagship because we can decrease inflammation in the brain. We can save lives. Yes?
That's what we're hoping to find out.
Well, thanks for taking the time with me. We use a lot of jargon, so we will be doing another simplified video for those who are interested in learning more about the study. And if you're a veteran watching this video, you live in the area between Boca Raton, Broward County, Palm Beach County, or if you're willing to drive from Miami, please sign up for the study. The link will be available in the next coming weeks once we finalize all the details. If you have any questions, reach out to us at www.greyteam.org. That's GREYTEAM.org. This is David. Thanks for watching the video. I'm out.